It's week 13 of the...
Here's Will Lutz ready to get this one started. And this one is underway here on EA Sports. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their third-year quarterback.
I love just about everything about him. Love his game, love his makeup, love his moxie, one of my favorite words. This guy's a competitor. Gritty, tough, you name it, he's got it. But he did throw an interception in last week's game. That contributed to a loss. And despite the fact he threw 3 touchdown passes, he's going to be out there redoubling his efforts and trying to play better.
The numbers for him from a week ago: 17 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown. Right back to Swift again on second down.
They put a lot of effort into game playing and establishing this ground game last week, and the reward was a nice day rushing the ball. Helped them put a balanced offense out on the field. And that carry is an indicator that this ground game wants to be established again this week.
Second down.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Operating from the gun, Urban. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
So certainly a defensive mistake here in the first quarter, getting hit with a roughing the passer call.
And that hurts not just because of the yardage you gave up and give them a fresh set of downs, but that brought the home crowd into this one. And when you go on the road, your job is to silence the crowd, not energize them.
Finding room at midfield. And they've got it run across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. Another big play as they get 28 out of that one. From Commanders territory now, it's 1st and 10, right at the 40. Back to throw. Urban, the quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That's into the hands of Donovan Peoples-Jones. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. Now Jason Sanders for the field goal try. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. The kick by Sanders is good. And the Lions are going to take a 3-0 lead. Had just the one big play on the drive, but that was enough to put them in field goal range.
Yeah, one big play of what they hope will be many others throughout the game. Every team has a different target for the number of plays like that, those explosives that we talk about. That allowed them to put points on the board on that drive. Let's see how the rest of the game goes.
And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. And leading them out, their signal caller, now in his 4th season in the NFL. Now a first carry here for Robinson. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down. Back to Robinson now on first down. Shifts past him at the 45. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Robinson with another carry. And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 38. Straight ahead, it's Robinson. Evades him at the 20. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Robinson up the middle. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Commanders. Brian Robinson Jr. with touchdown number 27. That ties Priest Holmes for the 3rd most in a single year. And the Commanders have answered that early field goal to take a first quarter lead. And he will get into the end zone again, and he seems to have a nose for it as he gets both the touchdown and the two-point conversion. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Back onto the field come the Lions for their second overall drive. And, Charles, you look at these two teams, and these are those kind of litmus test games in the second half of the season that if you're a coach or a player, you can either really look forward to them or really dread them, depending on your point of view.
And if you're dreading them, you're not going to go very far in the playoffs. You need to look forward to these kind of games because here we've got two division leaders, both real contenders for the NFC title. And you're right, you love having easy games on your schedule, but you need some games like this to toughen you up a bit and ensure that you're ready for the shock of playoff football.
Chase Young in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. Throwing on third and long. Urban. And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety.
At this point, I think it's a surprise when he isn't close to being sacked on a passing down. The amount of times he's hit the deck today, I think a lot of us are reading safety before they even took the snap. Simply a merciless pass rush every step of the game, and that rush earns a crowning achievement there.
Brian Robinson Jr. making his way back onto the field. Last week, a strong showing, up over 100, also 2 trips to the end zone.
It's the kind of week that if you said, listen, I'll let you have this type of a game each and every week, you'd sign up for it. You wouldn't try and get too greedy. But let's face it, good runners always want to be a little bit more greedy at the end, try and squeeze out every last yard. He's going to try and duplicate that and exceed it in this game.
Juke into space. The 20. Touchdown, Washington.
I know I should keep the focus and the spotlight on the hero that just scored, but tackling's been an issue for this defense all game long. I can't set that aside. We just saw it again here. Missed tackles leads to his long touchdown run.
They'll let Robinson try and run. And he is into the end zone again. So get him some oxygen. He scores on the long run and then punches in the two-point conversion for good measure. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get, and it's just so strange to see that go up on the board, and then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points.
Second quarter action now from Detroit, and it's the homestanding Lions who have the football as they've got it facing a second and long situation. Looking to throw. Urban. His throw incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on first down, followed by an incompletion, one more good rep, and they get off the field.
Throwing on third and long. Urban. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to fourth down. Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. A good starting spot for Washington as they come up 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 49. They begin the drive with Robinson. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. 8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. The CD here, this offense at 11-0 now on the year. A few weeks ago, I remember asking you what kind of percentage chance that you thought they had at staying unbeaten the entire season. I think you said 25%. I'd imagine that number probably grown since then.
I would agree with you, and I'm going to actually bump it up to closer to 50%, only because they still have some tough games to come, and keeping that focus throughout the entire season, that's been a really difficult thing to pull off. But so far, they've done it, and they've done it well.
And he's down into the red zone at the 15 after a gain of 15. 1st and 10. 187 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half. This is a 2nd and 4, ball at the 9. They'll run again here with Robinson. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Brian Robinson Jr. on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Commanders are able to widen their lead here in this first half. Lutz with the extra point, and the lead opens up now to 22 points. That time a 6-play drive, and it was capped off by the touchdown run for Brian Robinson. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Detroit's offense ready to take over. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Urban over the middle, and it's incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
To throw on 3rd down. Urban. All the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down. Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game. On 4th down, Jack Fox on to punt for Detroit. Taken from just outside the 30. And call that an even 50 yards on the punt with 7 on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Now 1st and 10 here for Hal and the Commanders at their 38. They'll start with a give to Robinson. The tackle credited to Deshaun Elliott, the safety. The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
1st down, Washington.
On a give, here's Robinson. And he's got some space here. On a nice burst there as he'll take this inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Hand off now to Robinson. What a great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. They run. Robinson. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Brian Robinson Jr. on his way to a historic performance. 4 first-half touchdowns as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. Lutz good on the extra point, and the route is on here in this first half.
Will Lutz set to kick off.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. And Detroit getting set to go now. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive. And they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. On first down, Urban finding Sterling Shepard for his first catch. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Now a play fake here on first down. Looking for Shepard deep. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw again.
He's going to get that to Swift underneath. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half.
And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away.
And a nice job here on special teams. This will be down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
They'll go play action. Howell. He's got this to Williams, complete.
And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Just like that, out of danger and up past the 40 now for 1st and 10.
And good vision there as he's across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. So we have passed the halfway point of the season and now past the halfway point of this game. We skip halftime and get right back to the action. Set to begin the 3rd quarter.
Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. The Commanders up first on offense as we begin this 3rd quarter. Well, it's hard to imagine the first half going any better for them, CD, and now here as they begin their first series of the second half. I mean, they score here. This one, it's pretty much out of reach.
We honestly might already be at that point, partner, because this team, they were dominant in the first half, continue to be dominant now, and I think they're viewing this as a put-away drive on their way to a lopsided victory.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
13 yards there and a Washington first. Here's Robinson.
And some room to work. And he's in for the score. And his spectacular season continues as he ties the NFL touchdown record.
He is phenomenal.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. Scoring summary, 3-play drive.
And it was capped off by the touchdown run from Brian Robinson.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
Fields it right around the goal line. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. On 1st and 10, Urban forced out to his left. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Back to throw. Urban.
And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down.
The safety blitz staged to perfection that time as they sack him for a loss of 6. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Looking to throw. Urban. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down.
Offense.
So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now, that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. 43-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return.
And Washington will have a short field here as they take over 1st and 10.
They'll run here with Robinson. And they'll get him down here at about the 42.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
They'll run it now with Robinson. And some space here.
And that one opened up for him well as he'll take this down to the 26-yard line. They give him 16 yards there, and it's a Washington 1st down.
On the run, it's Robinson. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line.
A good position to be in here, 2nd and inches.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Robinson. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door.
1st and goal at the 4-yard line.
Robinson diving for the end zone, and he is in. Touchdown. Some good running there at the end of the drive. He had the burst that set up the 1st and goal, and then one play later, he's in the end zone.
Brandon, what I liked about that sequence is I'm not sure who made the play call, but they understood the situation, understood the momentum. A nice hard-charging run, give it right back to him, and let him cap things off.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback.
Detroit's offense ready to take over. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. Or win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Here comes the Lions punter now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. It's a 47-yard punt, return of 6. And out will come the offense as they take over. A look at Washington as they come onto the field.
They're obviously right now in the driver's seat, comfortably ahead. They've scored on a couple straight possessions, Charles, and I mean, for them, I guess it's just more of the same, right? Keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, it's not typical for us to see games out of reach in the 3rd quarter. Right now, they're unstoppable in this one. And seeing how they just came out onto the field, it does appear like they're done scoring points in this one. They look awfully confident.
A nice looking play to start the drive down the middle and complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Give them 32 on the play.
Oftentimes now, offenses aren't nearly as precise as days gone by. They just tell receivers, find an open patch of grass and let the quarterback find you. And that's exactly what they did on that play. First with the pass through the air, nice chunk of yardage there, and then additional pickup with his legs after the catch.
Now this throw caught left side. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line.
1st and goal at the 8-yard line.
Here's Howell.
Touchdown! Irv Smith Jr., his 5th touchdown now on the year.
And the Commanders get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead.
Lutz with the extra point, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive.
And it was polished off by a Washington touchdown.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line.
The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field.
And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out. Back now here on EA Sports. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Back to throw. Urban.
And that's going to be caught by Peoples-Jones.
They'll go for a gain of 7. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down.
On 3rd down, Urban.
And that's to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And he is going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now. But as you mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that every guy who's on the field has to feel exactly the same way, because if not, they might be looking for replacements. Treat every drive as if it's your last and make it a successful one in some small way.
Back to throw again. He rifles one that's intercepted.
Picked off by Cameron Curl. And the Commanders are going to take possession of the football. Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense will very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense? Because your goal every game is to pitch a shutout, but you and I both know that's pretty unrealistic. But to hold a team below double figures in a game, in an NFL game, that's certainly something to take pride in.
And quickly, they get to the line.
A gain of 16 yards.
Powell throwing on first down here. Dotson has it. Touchdown, Commanders.
Complete to number 1.
A 15-yard touchdown grab.
And the Commanders add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week.
Lutz good on the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead.
Lions 3. Will Lutz set to
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. But we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Oh, trying to fit it into Shepard, but it's intercepted.
Isaiah Simmons picking it off. And he will bring this one back. It is a pick six for a Washington touchdown.
Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick six for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick six in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. I'll tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there.
So here come the Lions now.
And you can sort of sense their dejection. That last pick 6 put the icing on the cake, so to speak, in what has been a rough go for them.
And that's hauled in by St. Brown over the middle. So 8 yards on the completion there, and they'll be left with second and a couple.
Brings up 2nd and 2.
Looking to throw. Urban flush to his right. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about.
Defense.
So roughing the passer there, a big mistake
Automatic
defensively.
first down.
Yeah, and even though you've got a quarterback out of the pocket and the rules change downfield, that doesn't mean the same rules don't apply with the QB. Anything more than 1 step, they're going to throw a flag on you every time.
And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss.
To throw on second down. Urban.
And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front. He's trying to get it to Amon-Ra St. Brown.
And it'll bring up 3rd down. Operating from the gun. Urban. And that'll be caught by St. Brown. So the completion good for 6 yards. And it'll be 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here.
Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson.
And he's got room.
And some nifty running here as he'll take this across midfield and down to the 47. 15 yards the pickup. 1st down, Washington.
Again, it's Robinson. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
7-yard pickup. Brings up 2nd and 3.
They'll keep it on the ground. Robinson.
And a very determined run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 27. Good effort.
27-yard line. A gain of 13 yards. And the Commanders first down.
On 1st down, it's Robinson. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Boy, missed tackles continuing to plague this defense, and they surrender another big play and a touchdown here.
Yeah, by my count, at least 2 guys had shots at it, maybe even more than that. But this defense, they've looked out of sorts all game long. That was definitely not one of their better efforts right there.
Lions 3. Will Lutz set to kick off.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
This taken in at the goal line. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line.
And Detroit getting set to go now. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play
Personal foul.
and pretty much said to everyone,
Defense.
I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward. Throwing on 1st down.
Urban. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds.
St. Brown. Out of bounds at the 43-yard line.
Operating from the gun. Urban.
Oh, the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts.
It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Throwing on 3rd and long. Urban.
And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. And the Commanders are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 49. There's Robinson showing the flash.
And great blocking downfield as he's got this almost to the 35-yard line.
A gain of 15. And the Washington first down.
Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant showing from